Thank you very much, Alex Sims and your boy Wonder here to get this SkitLite versus Supremacy underway. Supremacy, I've got to say, Harry, coming off the back of a big loss versus the Pandas earlier on, certainly, I don't want to say that's an upset because that's not fair to the players on the opposing squad, but definitely for me, not what I expected.
Yeah, they definitely would have been favored to win that matchup, so they absolutely have to bounce back right here and right now. And honestly, I think this is quite a good matchup for them. I honestly think that most of the Supremacy players are way more individually talented than most of the SkitLite players. So this is going to be a good matchup for them, and you can see already SLG has the railgun and is about to grab the camouflage as well.
Well, he was about to, but kind of missed the button there. Did something before it by avoiding the splinter nades, which is pretty cool of him. Obviously, SkitLite on the opposing side have already been beaten by the French roster here already, so they're staring down the elimination barrel just as Supremacy are also. So, at the moment, Norwin, team captain, aka SLG, camo in hand, looking at BR base. Bang, takes down Beatley, one above him on the radar, bobbing up and down, goes to give his teammates some support. Still appearing off that radar. He knows where this one player is. He just jumps up onto the old railgun platform. We can just see him there. He did clock for him on the top. Looking to change this one back into his hands. And all of a sudden, Harry, we're into a triple cap.
Triple cap, and I'll tell you what, man, it's so devastating when you have a player like SLG on the other side. You're going against him. He's got camouflage and railgun. You saw right there, SkitLite, they got BR base, and then instantly SLG got the player down before they could even start planning their next move. This is good, though, from SkitLite. They've got 3 down on the Supremacy side now, and now they can start rotating around towards the BR base. They're already halfway capturing that, but the reset comes in. So the next player is going to be trying to defend blind right here. He actually has a teammate with him, so the nest should go in their favor. They have to either make a decision right here. They have to go to basement, or they have to go to the BR base. Instead, they try to go to basement. They're shut down by the team shot from Supremacy, and it looks like they're going to be scoring once again, our Supremacy.
And pretty much he's just going to keep that way unless they can get a stop on this one. Fair enough, they got 3 points. Well, they're saying that they do. They put another 2 in the back there, but look at 2 members straight up dogpiling over here in Nest. They're also pre-nade in White Corridor. Anyone comes around that corner, they're just going to get completely standing on a nest of landmines. Super aggressive, try and keep defense on the basement. 2 of his teammates as well. You can see them on the radar. They're just absolutely bomb it across to help them out. One person's really quickly checking Nest. That's fantastic, especially if they're going to pre-nade White as well to make sure no one comes there. And look at them. Sunny and Punisher working together, just moving over towards the basement. Catchy somehow surviving. There were plenty of going off there. I'm surprised he didn't drop. And coming back for more. Catchy with a fantastic double, though. Will bomb out with 2. Looks straight across. Doesn't quite go for the triple. He just pauses for a second. Scopes out again, pre-charging this railgun. Doesn't tag up. 1 will drop down below underpass. 1 person as his teammate goes flying by. Punisher comes in with a hot 5 to Beatley as well. That's a double kill from him. Looking on the opposing side, a double kill coming out from SkitLite also. So 2 down on either side. Solo makes that 3.
Yeah, very nice stuff there from Supremacy. I was actually looking to see where the camouflage was. I think it might even still be up, you know. I'm not really too sure if anyone's actually grabbed that just yet. So not sure if either team know exactly where that is. I'll try and keep an eye out through across our screens. But this is actually really nice stuff out of SkitLite. You could see they were doing very well. In fact, they're doing so still, getting the kills on the board during vital kind of points on the map. We saw the camouflage timer ticking down to around 10 seconds. Like 10 seconds before that camouflage came up, SkitLite got 2 in a row. So very important slays, not only considering where the players were on the map that they took down, but also the timing, considering that power-up is coming up as well. So very nice stuff out of SkitLite, but you can see on the scoreline right now, 43-16. They need to start making this a little bit closer, otherwise, basically the whole game is going to hinge on the next camouflage. Big play out of SLG to take down Catchy.
Yeah, he kind of copped at the end there. You saw him with the scatter shot in hand. He knew he had to get that one, so just steamroll in, give him the beatdown. A couple of shots on the DMR as well. His teammate just snatches the camo off his hands. Down he goes from blind with a perfect 4. Harry, what are you seeing?
This camouflage is actually the old one that was still up from before. So this camouflage has actually been up for a whole minute, and Fragger right here could play this super duper sneaky. Catchy has absolutely no idea. I like the trigger discipline right there. No need to make that player weak. Otherwise, he's going to turn around. He's going to call you out with camouflage. But yeah, SkitLite might not even be aware of this. Don't forget, they didn't even get the first camouflage. It was Supremacy who grabbed that one. And with Fragger grabbing this so late, that's going to mean SkitLite are going to have absolutely no idea about those camouflage for the rest of the game.
Honestly, Harry, I don't know if it's me, but I don't want to say they're making it look easy, but it feels like that. I just don't feel like they're really being challenged by too much. Every time you look at, you know, Supremacy, there's several members of them working together, helping each other out. You kind of go one-on-one, someone else will come in with a quick assist. they're just really singling out SkitLite one by one, and that's kind of, you know, that's a telltale sign when you look at the scoreline.
Yeah, and we saw Fragger there take down Taeob. Taeob just grabbed the BR base, and if you don't know exactly where that scatter shot is, you have to assume a player is going to be anchoring that position with the scatter shot. SLG actually has the railgun, so only fair that we jump over to him, but he goes down as well. So let's give a little bit of love to Punisher. He's going to be the man to pick up SLG's old railgun. 2 kills in the kill feed there for Solar. He's having a great game. That's actually 3 in a row. Only fair that we actually swap over to him as well. He's looking for the overkill. Can he make it happen here? And he doesn't quite get it. He gets the killing spree, though. Very nice stuff there from Solar. He's on a roll right now, as our Supremacy. 81-16. This is commanding.
Yeah, I'll be disappointed with that one, trying to just bag himself. That over-checking BR, there's no real need for him to push it. All 3 of them are, because at the end of the day, that's the meta. Push the triple. Just keep applying the pressure. Banks one off the wall. Hits blind, square in the eye. Railgun comes steaming past his head. Triple cap once again. That's going to rock up to 90 points. SkitLite really need to turn face in game 2, because honestly, this isn't looking great right now.
So remember that old camouflage? That's actually coming around, up in around the next 15 or so seconds. So SkitLite, they need it, but the problem is they have no idea where it's going to be or when it's even going to be up, because, again, they weren't able to grab it. So they need a stronghold right here, and then they need to grab the next camouflage as well. But I do believe that is actually dropped down from the original spawn. So SkitLite, if they can maintain the nest right here, it's currently being taken by Supremacy. If they can grab this camouflage as well, they still have a chance in this game, but the nest goes, and that will be the game as well.
Yeah, instead of going, I mean, there were probably no time to do it whatsoever, but instead of probably picking that up and holding back for a second, they all just needed to dive bomb. 100-18 will be the final score of map number 1, Supremacy, showing why, you know, for me, this is a team that I can see going to Worlds, or at least I said I thought was going to Worlds, until they went up against the Pacemaking Pandas. The Pacemaking Pandas obviously took them down in a 3-1 fashion. But then again, I've been looking forward to seeing what this roster can do, as I see a few of the players just looking over and grinning at me in a very, very cheeky manner. Take a look at the kill feed, Harry. Run us through what you're seeing, brother.
So 16 and 8 out of both SLG and Solo. They were also the top captures on their team as well. So very nice stuff out of those 2 in particular. Great slaying all across the board here from Supremacy, actually. The differential between kills, positive 18 in favor of Supremacy. So those slays coming in to be a factor right there. They also had 10 power weapon kills in comparison to SkitLite's just the 1. Catchy on the SkitLite side, 12 and 12. Not the best performance from Taeob, Beatley, and Blind. So Catchy's going to be looking at his teammates right here and saying, hey, come on, lads, I'm turning up right here. Where are you guys?
I mean, it's not a team slayer, but willingly, if it were, they would have just gone down 50-32, which is what it kind of went in the favor of the red team. I'm going to correct myself as well. I actually said the old railgun spawn. I actually meant the old sniper platform in that one, so that's my bad. But Supremacy showing why they are, for me, one of the best teams in Europe with that one game. However, it's not about this one game. It's about the rest of the loser bracket, which both of these teams find themselves within. Unfortunately, one of these teams will be going home after this. That's the hard truth of the matter. Both of them in the loser bracket run. SkitLite looking to find a real footing and real grounds in game number 1. But, hey, moving into Regret Slayer. First time we've seen Regret this weekend, Harry?
I think it could be, you know. I think we might have seen it in the open bracket yesterday. I mean, we certainly did with Rock's team. But certainly, first time in the championship bracket, we're seeing Regret. And it's one of those game types that SkitLite definitely have a chance on. I think this is probably one of their stronger game types. But again, it comes down to whether or not they can grab that first overshield and keep track of that, keep tags on that, because the overshield is what you're playing for here on Regret, right? It spawns every 2 minutes, inside, bottom, middle. If you can control the first one, you'll know the timing on the second one. If you can grab that one, then you can snowball from there. Outside of that, outside of those 30-second periods where you're going to be fighting for that overshield, you want to be getting up high, getting that top-middle control, grabbing that carbine control, floating between the bases, flying across carbine, and trapping the other team in the base. So SkitLite are a team that are quite good at doing that, actually. We saw this during the online broadcast. They had some success on Regret Slayer. Hopefully they can bounce back in this series, otherwise they're going to find themselves 2-0 down.
I mean, me and you, we can say now, we've played with Catchy plenty of times. We know what this man's capable of. The amount of times he's carried us single-handedly in the arena.
By Catchy, I think is probably more appropriate.
I think it's fair to say this is a decent squad. This is a squad that has a chance, I'm saying there's a chance, still has a chance at making one of those top 2 spots for Worlds. However, again, Supremacy, they are here to play. These guys finished, they've been in Pro League twice now. They're a top team.
They are a top team, and honestly, I think the mentality of SkitLite, I think the analyst desk definitely touched upon this. They dropped to a French team earlier on in the bracket, and that's why they are here. this is their worst nightmare. They drop to the second.
To find a French team waiting.
It's
like matchmaking all over again.
French teams of 4 online. They come to the event and they play French teams of 4 again. They just can't escape. But yeah, that's the mentality definitely comes into it. You can see the series layout on your screens, but SkitLite, their mentality has to be at an all-time low. They've dropped game 1 against Supremacy, another French squad, and it definitely comes into play. They've got to be getting down on themselves right now, especially after losing the first game, 100 to just 18. All
right, guys, let's get this thing underway. We're moving into map number 2. It's going to regret. It's going to be Team Slayer on regret. First to 50 will be the victor. You can see there another powerful weapon that we actually failed to touch on during the pregame, the Plasma Caster. That thing does some nasty, nasty damage, but it's all about these initial first seconds. The battle for the first OS. Down goes one. Catchy finds Fragger. Beatley finds Punisher. One goes down as well, but that to me looks like it's going to be a Supremacy member. And of course, who else would it be? Team captain, no one.
Yeah, who else but SLG, starting the game off strong. A triple for him, all 3. He's trying to make it 4. Gets a couple of hit markers, can't quite convert them though. Fragger's there to take down Beatley, but that's the best start Supremacy could really have asked for. SkitLite actually got the first 2 slays on the board, so I favored them to grab the overshield, but who else but Hero Norwin Leguludek. Yep, he taught me how to say his surname, by the way. He grabs the triple and the overshield. Great start for Supremacy, and this is looking scary here for SkitLite.
I mean, one thing you've got to say, Harry, you've told me this before. We're in matchmaking. Sims, you're the last alive, stay alive. He was literally the last person alive. He bagged himself an OS, and he bags himself a triple, almost even and over.
Not bad, right? I mean, SLG is one of those players that could just turn the worst situation into the best situation. I mean, he only had 2 bullets left back there in his Magnum. He has to actually grab some ammo. That's how much work this guy is doing. They actually have triple the score of SkitLite right now. They have the Plasma Caster as well. I'd love to swap on someone else's point of view, but as long as SLG is doing work, we have to stay with him. In fact, let's swap over to the SkitLite side with Tayob, team captain. He really has to rally his troops right now. His objective, get this game as close as possible within the next 30 seconds, and then you could drop down, try and grab the overshield, and then work from there.
Well, he did yourself a favor, at least. He took out SLG. He also does it a second time, but SLG answers back, takes him down. We're moving across with Solar right now. The latest addition to this Supremacy roster, one person who I highly rate. A lot of people see he's an online God Warrior, but then again, he turned up in the previous. Let's see what he can do this time round. Looking straight in the base. There's Blind. Doesn't quite pick him up. Pre-nade goes in, hoping he steps on a landmine. Charging up this Plasma, looking for anyone who wants to come round. He's going to dive out, fires it off, finds the target. Punisher comes in, at least gives him some support. Plasma Caster now dropping on the map. I've just seen SLG go flying over there on the nameplate, sorry. I can only imagine Mr. No One is lighting fireworks and bonfires underneath SkitLite. However, Catchy does at least shut him down.
Yeah, and the whole fight in bottom middle right here was for that overshield that this man just picked up. Supremacy grabbed the first overshield, so they knew the timing. They won the team fight inside bottom middle, and now SkitLite, that is the nail in the coffin pretty much for them. We've seen some big comebacks in Halo 5, but on Regret Slayer, when Fragger has the overshield up high like this, Beatley he can't do anything. He still has half overshield, does Fragger, and it's just too easy here for Supremacy. They're not being contested nearly enough by SkitLite, and this could get pretty ugly in this game.
I mean, I know some of these European countries, they have a lot of snow, but right now, Supremacy are just throwing snowballs at them because this is getting really out of hand really quickly. 28 to 13, the current score, and we still have 9 minutes of regular play remaining. Beatley, one person on radar right above him, opts to drop down below. Ka looking for anyone coming around from Caster. Still no one on the radar, so he's just going to creep up here, try and stay alive. Anchoring, pushes top mid. He sees one person hanging outside on the wall. That's going to be Punisher. Doesn't quite get the kill. Punisher, but look at this. Just escaping with his life, just to at least come back and try. Fair enough, he got him, but how long did it take to get that kill, Harry?
Yeah, and that's something that the French players do so well, time and time again, just making the kill as difficult as possible for the other team, and it's so frustrating to play against them, both online and at a live event as well. So very nice stuff here out of Supremacy. I actually want to check out the scoreboard on our Observer Xbox. SLG actually has the most kills in the game right now, as well as the most assists as well. So SLG really doing work, and Punisher and the boys down here, excuse me, are already down low. The Plasma Caster is coming up in 10 seconds, and the overshield's coming up soon after that as well. So you can tell Supremacy, they know they want to be down low for this next overshield. And the game right now is not really close. 20-point lead for Supremacy, and you've got to favor them to grab this next overshield as well.
I mean, no one looking across here. I can't see anybody on SkitLite with over 1,000 damage done, but no one's sitting happy. Keep captain SLG, 1,700 on the damage done. this is amazing. 13 kills for SLG. Solo just sitting down for a second. Catchy, right, finally, we've got an OS in hand. Let's see what we can do with this one. He's got the OS, he's got the Plasma Caster. Now we can work together. Now we can see if we can get something done. Fragger challenges out. There's Punisher as well. We spoke about this French teamwork before, Harry. There's not one, there's always two or three, or even sometimes four. Holding back a second, somebody's on the radar. His teammate says, no, turn and face. I've got this covered, which they do. Now you can see the kills starting to rack up, Harry. That's Tayob with another one as well. Now another one. Now we're getting something working, but honestly, look at the scoreline. I think it's just a little bit too late.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Too little, too late. Blind in particular isn't having the best of games, so like halfway through the game, you almost want to check the scoreboard, make sure none of your teammates are doing particularly badly. I checked out the scoreboard a second ago. I think Blind at the moment is currently only has the 4 kills. So halfway through the game, if one of your players is doing particularly bad, you've got to try and cater towards him, right? You've got to try and get him on the board a little bit more, get him involved in the game and make sure all your guns are firing. Seems like Blind there was getting a little bit singled out. I'm not saying that's the reason for them going down in this game, but they are stringing some kills together. We saw that kind of spell of map control all came from Catchy's overshield and the Plasma Caster, and that's where their kills came from. But they've closed the gap from down by 20 to now down by, what is this, down by 11.
Wow.
So they're actually coming back into this slowly but surely, but they only have 5 deaths total to play with. Only down by 10 now, though.
Anything can happen in Halo, famous last words. The countdown was on from 5 kills, but you know what, Harry? Since I thought about this about a minute ago, this is where we've sat 45 kills for Supremacy. And kill by kill, we're just seeing them close this gap here at SkitLite. He's going to dive in there. He does have a teammate behind him. Does get the pre-break down. He's also got some support. But we've kind of landed at 10 kill difference, and that's where it's kind of stayed trade for trade. That's all Supremacy need to do. They need 2 more kills. There's 49. Looking for the big fat 50, and it will be Solar who finds it with a nice perfect on Blanche straight across the map. Drills the BR 4-shot into his skull, and down goes SkitLite in map number 2. But the whole story about that, Harry, they played really well towards the end. That was, if there were ever a time to say too little, too late, that was it.
Absolutely. The late game, the late game was good from SkitLite, but it just took them way too long to get into that game. Looking at the scoreboard right here, I mean, we have a few questionable spreads, but again, you have to question whether or not SkitLite could have maybe grabbed that first overshield. They had the first 2 kills. They had the first 2 slays on that first overshield. They still weren't able to grab it. Checking out the scoreboard, Beatley on the SkitLite side was the star performer, +3 from him. Just the 3 assists though, so he was doing some individual work or maybe cleaning up his teammates' kills. But again, you gotta say, Blind halfway through that game, I checked the scoreboard. He only had the 2 kills. He turned his game around slightly, finished with 7, but 7 and 15, that is not a good enough stat line on the SLG side.
The SLG side.
The SLG side,
Really
SLG
is.
himself, 16, 12, and 10. Fantastic ratio right there, and those 12 assists as well just really just speaks to how much damage this player puts down. He is really just a star player in Europe, and he's one of my favorite players to watch, I think.
To be fair, it is electrifying watching him play because, and this is no disrespect, but sometimes he's just a cut above everybody else that is either on his team or on the opponent's side. He just does things with 0 fear and 110% confidence every time. Such confidence in his shot, in his map, maneuverability, and just his general awareness. The amount of times, I mean, we've matched him matchmaking several times, and when you try to kill him, it's like, which way did he go, George?
Speak for yourself.
Which
I
really?
I think he's got a bit of a mental block on me, I might have to talk to him about that a little bit later on. Because,
Interesting.
I mean, he sees me, he's like, oh, it's Wonderboy, it's a free kill. I was like, nah, dude, don't worry.
Don't be saying that.
Come on,
SkitLite will get you stood behind him.
Well, I was saying in the last
shouting
series
stuff at him.
that Talik actually kind of gave me a look. He was like, hey, you want to come play for us? Because, you're an honorary French guy. You can pronounce Norman Leguludex, so... I'm pretty much French, but yeah, coming back to this series, we went off in a little bit of a tangent right there. SkitLite, they have to bounce back here in Game 3, otherwise it's going to be a 3-0 and their champ bracket run will be over. Don't forget, this is a loser's bracket game. It's kind of strange to see both of these teams here in the loser's bracket, but that really just speaks to how strong this tournament is. I mean, everyone here has come to play. I mean, I don't think anyone really expected the Pandas, the pacemaking Pandas, to knock down Supremacy. I believe they won that series 3-1, actually, so with a game to spare as well.
Confidence is key. SLG, Punisher, Solar, and Fragger 1 game away from advancing in the loser bracket run. Tayob, Blind, Catchy, and Beatley. Unfortunately, I want to say the French dream, but it's the French nightmare. Could be sent home. They've already been put here in loser bracket by a French roster They could be get sent packing by another one. We're moving into game number 3. Ladies and gentlemen at home, if you are just joining us, welcome along. Thank you for joining us. Remember to tweet the stream. Use the hashtag HaloWC. This is the EU Halo World Championship 2017 London qualifier. Tomorrow in Championship Sunday, we have 10 grand on the line for first place. And of course, 2 places going towards the Halo World Championship in Burbank, California. But right now, it's all about this third and possibly final map. Truth CTF is your next game on screen.
So there we go. Truth capture the flag, game number 3. Hearing in our ears, I believe Epsilon knocked out Fragment 3-0. Was it XL or was it Epsilon? I'll have to get a double check there from production, but it was actually XL. Excuse me.
We're getting a confirmation on this one.
Epsilon beat Fragment 3-0.
There you go. We got there in the end, between us. So, looking at this one then, Truth CTF. It's going to be a very, very good game. However, it could be a very, very bad game if you SkitLite, because I just fear for them in this, with how the French play and how they work, and they just dogpile individual players. They work as a unit. If they single out SkitLite one by one like they have been doing, in the last 2 previous games, on a map like Truth, you're going to get ripped to shreds.
Yes, and that's something the French squads, all the French squads here do very, very well, is, like you said, dogpiling players. I mean, they will absolutely fly at the other team through one side or the other, whether it's pink or carbine, and it's scary when you see a French squad like flying at you like that. I mean, how do you shut that down? I think, again, the key in this game, capture the flag on Truth. For me, for SkitLite, they have to grab the first power-up. They have to get that camouflage. They can't let Supremacy grab the sword straight away either. Otherwise, they're going to start running flags incredibly quickly. And to start things off, Blind is actually going to grab the camouflage for SkitLite.
The game is underway, so let's dive on in and see how this one is going to play out. As Harry mentioned, first power-up of the game going in the hands of Blind. That's going to be Fragger, who tries to jump out of the way, but unfortunately gets the blunt end of Blind's BR. Tayob also picks up one on Punisher to stop him making his way into the base. Red dot on the radar. It's going to be possibly even 2 of them above Blind's head, just creeping around with this camo. He's in enemy territories, but did have a teammate to his left, but it's actually now going to be 2 enemy blobs. One person did go down, I believe, with a splinter nade, but the big reversal comes out. Another player goes in for the recap, but how he got that, I will never know. That was a God-style beatdown.
It most certainly was, and I tell you what, man, this game is going to be pretty close. I said at the start, SkitLite, they absolutely need the first power-up. They got it, so fantastic stuff from them, and they're going to know that the timing on that going forwards. It's about whether or not Supremacy will know exactly when that power-up is coming up next time round, and that could help SkitLite going forward. But in between those camouflages coming up, they have to be very aware of the fact that Supremacy is still going to be flying forward and are going to be trying to take out players like SLG is doing right here. But the squad flies into 3, takes down 2. No fear, man. He just goes straight in, no problemo.
Super SLG going for it right there. I mean, I was surprised when you looked in with the sword. I thought, okay, he sees some oncoming players. He's going to duck out to the left, but instead just thinks, nah, man, I want a piece of this. Dives on in like Superman, skyrockets across the map, and now gets a quick double kill here on the POV of Punisher, brings the flag home, but the flag was away all but a second, and now we are 1-0 on the board for Supremacy.
And the worrying thing is they've also found the sword as well. I said, oh, no, let's make the grenade. He actually ground through the splinter. Are you kidding me? That's crazy.
That is
what kind of a play is that to make? That's insane.
Good God.
Say, you have to be very aware of the fact that SkitLite are going to know that the camouflage is coming up soon, but Supremacy will still be flying at you. We literally saw SLG fly at someone, and then another French player literally fly through a splinter grenade. These French players, man, they certainly know how to fly.
So he hovers for a second to actually avoid near imminent death by Splinter, flies through it and just smacks someone in the jawline for an easy kill. That is just fantastic stuff. So back into the game with Tayob, sword up in P2. One person drops down from P3. It's going to be Punisher, gets a sword to the back. Another person rounds up P2. Get your sword out, my friend. Go on, just challenge him. Why didn't you kill him? Instead, we will see from the Griff 1, 2, 3 members, though, of Supremacy, Harry, will get dropped on the opposing side. So a little bit of ground here for SkitLite. However, Solo coming straight off of the spawn inside the bubble, diving on into the base, did not really make any advancement with it and really made use of getting those players down.
Yeah, and this is actually really smart out of Solar, and this is the kind of play calling that comes in on the Supremacy side. Instead of overextending right there, he decided to fight back into his own base. That's because there's 3 SkitLite players in his own base. He will take down Blind, but the flag's already on the move. I do believe that is actually going to be Kachi here, helping his teammates out. 2 kills there from Taeyob, and this is going to be the flag run, and they also have the sword in their hands as well, so this flag can move very quickly. This could be 1-0 unless Kachi's put a stop to right here, and he won't be. That's all tied up 1-1.
That is a very, very nice flag run. There was absolutely no holding back whatsoever. You know, he could have held for a second and got his shields back. Instead, he just steamboated that one in, slid it in. No one managed to stop him, and he's still living to tell the tale. Sword in hand as well. One person comes out. These SkitLite players, they do back off a bit, and don't you? Every time I see them with that sword in the pocket, the challenge in with the Magnum out. Now, I know the Magnums hit hard on LAN, but when you've got a sword in your back pocket, you need to do what SLG does, man. You need to get stuck in with that thing and go flying across the map. I'm seeing 3 dots on his radar. One person's challenging below the base, so he needs to be extremely careful, just teetering on the edge here. So that he hasn't actually been called out. No one took him down there, so he's been allowed to stay alive in enemy territory. Now they know where he is. Now he's going to be a nuisance. And the worst thing about this is it kind of puts a halt on what the rest of the team's doing because they have to come back, Harry, and deal with him.
Exactly, and SLG's picked up too, so Solar can get this kill right here. He can continue running this flag, but he's just being such a nuisance. I mean, he's completely drawing all of the resources away from the SkitLite side, and look at that flag. It's already on the move. I do believe that is going to be... might even be Fragger here to put this flag in, and there you go, 2-1 to the good of Supremacy. Very nice stuff. That all came from Solar right there, just making sure that he was keeping the SkitLite players back in their own base.
Solar at least will take down Kachi with the sword to put a halt on the damage he's doing inside the base. You see a little player on the radar as well. That's going to be above him in P2, so no doubt he'll get called out for that one. But here we go, SLG back on the aggressive stance right now. Just looking if there's anyone else around there, which they aren't there at the moment. So things just quieting down for a second, Harry. Here comes the aggression out of Solar, just beelining from... But if he'd have got that then, I'd have... Imagine. Just goes flying up through the window and just takes his face off. Hasn't seen him yet on the radar. Beatley's there to put a stop on this one. His teammate comes up behind. That's also going to be Punisher, I believe. Yes, it is. Takes down Beatley. And here we see Fragger just jumping in top window, absolutely laying down the carbine on Kachi. Kachi almost showing him up, one shot away from ending his life there. Drops down to his knees, does Fragger just for a second. Try and get his shields back here on the outside. I tell you what, man, you got to look at this. Supremacy just laying the hurt into SkitLite.
They are, but SkitLite are making a good stand at this at the moment. I mean, fair enough, they do have SLG here, right, just helping his flag guy out. He will get the kill on Taeyob, but my worry is they have no one looking at Carbine right now. They have no one trapping these players from SkitLite, overextending here on the Carbine side. So if Kachi and his teammate can work together right here, maybe pull this flag, kill the flag carrier, they could potentially get a return. That is actually 3 there from Kachi, a triple, and he's going to get the return. As he no, it's not quite returned just yet. That's going to be Taeyob to finish that one off. Great return. What a triple from Kachi. Unbelievable.
He is quite literally just stopped them being eliminated from the competition. Picks up a triple, puts enough time on there for Taeyob to come in, get the final touch on the return. 1, 2, 3 members of SkitLite do fall. 2 members of Supremacists. There's still going to be 2 alive. He's the last one. Both flags are on. This could... Ooh, that's a bit of a bad bounce coming out of SLG. Does thrust back, but he's already been caught in no man's land, so he's down in bottom mid. Will jump up, gets the beat down on the sword guy, touches the flag once again, plays basketball, throws it upstairs. There you have it. Supremacy move on in the winner's bracket. SkitLite, unfortunately, they are going home.
SLG just did like 5 different things that blew my mind in the space of about 10 seconds. That was insane.
His map movement is insane.
Talk about turning a misfortune into just a fortuitous play right there. I mean, great respect shown by the players on your screens right now. But that play at the end of the game there from SLG, so smart. That's why, in my opinion, he's one of the best players in Europe. You saw he kind of fumbled the flag. It hit the roof of bottom middle. He threw it at his courtyard, jumped up top middle, killed the guy that was on top middle, harassing his teammates, and then still threw the flag up as well. Punisher, top slayer in the game, 17 from him.
He actually wasn't the top slayer in the game.
Excuse me.
It was actually a member of SkitLite.
Who else?
Jesus, Kachi.
That triple, man.
21 and 14. I mean, I don't want to say carrying your team, but look at the difference.
Yeah.
You know? That is absolutely insane. But to get some more further analysis of that game and break it down a little bit more, let's go back